Under the leadership of our President, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Turkey has placed itself at the center of global climate diplomacy by assuming the presidency of COP31. This year, our country will host COP31 in Antalya, along with the World Leaders Summit, to be held as part of the conference. Through this significant event, Turkey will lead an era extending from dialogue to consensus and from consensus to action, working to turn climate commitments into concrete and actionable outcomes. The Zero Waste Resolution, prepared under the leadership of our country, was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly, and with March 30 being declared International Zero Waste Day. This vision gained global resonance. The pioneering work carried out by the esteemed First Lady within the United Nations also lends great strength to the environmental and climate vision that Turkey will present during its COP31 presidency. COP31 brings together the experience Turkey has gained in this field over the years with a new responsibility. Today, we are launching, together with our ministry, a comprehensive science diplomacy initiative that will connect the knowledge and experience of about 208 universities with academic stakeholders across different regions of the world. Under the coordination of the Council of Higher Education, we have established a comprehensive academic engagement model that connects our 208 universities in Turkey with universities, research centers, and academic networks from various countries around the world. According to the Green Metric 2025 results, 6 of our universities are among the top 100 globally, 21 are among the top 200, and 54 are among the top 500. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that Turkey ranks first in the world in terms of the number of universities entering the top 500. I would like to share with you that we have built our COP31 academic engagement model upon a science diplomacy approach, extending from science to policy, from research to application, and from national experience to international cooperation. I would like to express with great satisfaction that today there is no university in Turkey left outside the COP31 process. A vice rector has been designated as a coordinator at each of our universities. This approach directly aligns with the targets we have set out in the roadmap for Turkish higher education heading towards 2030. I would like to remind you that in our roadmap, we address the green and digital transformations under a twin transformation approach that complements one another. With this understanding, we continue to launch new programs at our universities in various fields, such as renewable energy, sustainability management, environmental and resource management, climate change, and sustainable agriculture and food systems. Transforming universities into living laboratories will perhaps be one of the most important agenda items we will encounter most frequently in the coming years. We view the academic mobility we have initiated for COP31 as a science diplomacy process, and we carry out our work within this scope. In line with our responsibility for international representation in the field of academia, we connect Turkey's higher education and research capacity with institutions in different countries. For this purpose, we created the COP Science platform. We have begun receiving contributions from universities, research centers, academic networks, and scientists from different countries through our English application page. I would also like to state that we aim to carry high-quality initiatives aligned with COP31 priorities into new partnerships in the COP31 academic program. Furthermore, today our universities host approximately 380,000 international students from 198 different countries. Turkey ranks 6th in the world in terms of the number of international students. These students serve as a very precious bridge between Turkey and their respective countries. As the Council of Higher Education, we aim to make this strong international presence even more visible at COP31. The York Pavilion, to be established within the scope of COP31, is extremely important in this regard. Science diplomacy brings together the knowledge base and research capabilities of different countries to solve shared problems. Data sharing, shared research infrastructures, and researcher mobility will establish lasting academic ties between countries. The balanced relations Turkey has developed with different regions will be utilized to generate shared knowledge in the field of climate, share research infrastructures, and establish solution-oriented international consortia. The academic process we launch here today will not only be limited to the conference in Antalya. We will coordinate preparations prior to COP31, connect academic contributions with international stakeholders during the conference, and track the projects and partnerships that emerge throughout our presidency term. The success of an international meeting is measured by the lasting impact it creates afterward. I would like to state that we aim for COP31 to strengthen the culture of interdisciplinary research, establish long-term international partnerships, and develop mechanisms that will ensure the transfer of scientific knowledge into policy and practice. We expect the collaborations formed during this process to turn into joint research projects, researcher mobility, technological solutions, and strong international institution partnerships. The message we will deliver from Turkey to the world at COP31 is clear. In the fight against climate change, our strongest foundation will be science, our most effective method, collaboration, and our most lasting legacy, the solutions we develop together.
First, a single drop falls from the sky. A drop becomes life and blossoms into green. Climates are born from those drops flowing through the centuries. Istanbul, a city where continents, cultures, and ideas converge, the face of Turkey to the world. Throughout history, Istanbul has been the heart of civilizations. Today, it stands at the center of climate diplomacy and a sustainable future. Turkey is not merely a bridge, not just a passage linking east and west, north and south. It is a force of diplomacy that unites in times of crisis, that finds common ground in differences, and now it channels this power into climate diplomacy. Combating climate change is not only a matter of conscience, it is a matter of justice, economy, security, and peace. And at this very point, Turkey's stabilizing power steps in. With its 2053 net zero emissions target, investments in renewable energy, climate-conscious urban planning, and zero-waste policies, and a vision anchored in advanced technologies, Turkey is taking action not only for itself, but for continents and generations alike. Nature gives back only what it has taken. In dried-up rivers, in swelling floods, it asks us to account for all we have lost. It advances every step required to carry the transformation forward, while offering the Mediterranean's climate efforts as a model. It seeks to become part of a shared solution across lands stretching from the Pacific to Africa. By building cities that are climate and disaster resilient, Turkey is initiating a green and just transformation. Turkey has faith in shared wisdom and common vision. It trusts the voices and insight of women and youth. It believes that lasting solutions emerge through inclusive, democratizing processes. With this vision, Turkey is hosting COP31, This presidency is a meeting point for climate justice, a global call for collective solutions. Antalya, an inspiring beacon for the green transition, embracing the zero-waste approach, boasting electric transit and a daily air travel capacity of 200,000, as well as a strategic location, Antalya stands ready to host a low-carbon global gathering. Home to 2,799 lodging facilities and over 600,000 beds, it offers participants an infrastructure that is safe, accessible and sustainable. From Expo 2016 to NATO summits, Antalya's global experience makes it a strong host COP31. Here's what we hold to be true. Great crises can only be overcome through shared wisdom and joint steps. To think together, speak together, and act together. Let us meet in a shared promise and unite in shared action. For the future, for the planet, for all of us.
We built our roadmap on three fundamental values: dialogue, consensus, and action. We gathered here with segments from all countries of the world and listened one by one to the expectations of the parties, their concerns regarding the process, and again their solution proposals. At this climate change conference, we concluded the COP31 host country agreement with the United Nations Climate Change Secretariat. This agreement means one of the largest organizations that our country has undertaken to date, involving 196 countries. We shared our COP31 action agenda, its 10 priority areas, and its measurable global targets with the international community. In line with these targets within the action agenda, which truly contain the decisions taken so far but yield concrete results, we shared the action agenda with the entire world and received positive responses as well. At London Climate Action Week, we met with world countries once again and shared our priorities with investors, financial institutions, private sector representatives, scientists, and international organizations. As our esteemed president also expressed, we want to connect COP31 with decision, technology projects, and implementation processes until COP31. In other words, without universities and without science, we cannot ensure continuity in this effort. The process we are living through today is experiencing one of the most deep-rooted transformation and disruption periods in human history. This transformation that the world is passing through is unfortunately further accelerated by wars, the energy crisis we experience, water scarcity, the disasters we face every day, drought, food security, and increasingly rising geopolitical tensions. Ongoing wars in different regions of the world today threaten energy supply security. When we look at it today, all the countries of the world are struggling with inflation rates, perhaps unprecedented in their history. On the other hand, water stress is deepening gradually. Drought within the scope directly affects agricultural production, the future of our cities, economic stability, and the capacity of societies to coexist. As the pressure on resources grows, we are faced with mass migrations, now climate migrations. The possibility of regional tensions and new conflicts emerging is also increasing with each passing day. As Turkey, we put forward a strong and clear approach in this process. It is very precious that every country, beyond the conventional norm, can have access to energy, water, food, and technology. We believe that every country must attain a capacity to stand on its own 2 feet. I would like to emphasize that countries that fail to catch up with the transformation the world is going through will fall behind in economic competition, production, technology, and development. Turkey holding the COP31 presidency and Turkey hosting it is a great opportunity for our country, our nation, and our universities. It is also an important chance for humanity in search of a fairer balance between development and climate justice. Turkey's opening of the grain corridor in the Russian-Ukraine crisis, Turkey becoming a haven of peace, tranquility, and security in the wars of our region, and displaying this stance both at the United Nations and in all crises experienced by the world is a chance on behalf of the world as well. Turkey possesses the experience and knowledge to build a bridge between developed and developing countries, to transform differences into a common strength for solutions, and to lead an understanding where no one is left behind. Reading this picture correctly and acting under the guidance of the science is our common responsibility. We also see and evaluate the contribution of our universities to COP31 as an investment in the future that will amplify Turkey's international strength. As Professor Dr. Aziz Sancar stated, the only way to have a say in the world is to conduct science at the highest standards and to be strong in science. Under our COP31 presidency, we want to unite the resources of our country around the same goal. The universities of Turkey, which hold the COP31 presidency, should also set an example for the whole world in the fight against climate change. Since we started this process, many international organizations have been supporting climate change mitigation, compliance, and adaptation projects in Turkey. We bought a loan of approximately $1 billion to our country. We can present the selected projects to the whole world as a COP31 science and technology portfolio whose targets, budget, schedule, partnerships, and performance indicators are determined. Recently, I went to Russia. They are asking for our support regarding post-war reconstruction. Inshallah, we will be sharing this knowledge and experience of our country with the entire world in Syria and Palestine as well. We must turn COP31 into a strong starting point where new ideas turn into projects, projects into investment, scientific knowledge into technology, and decisions taken into on-the-ground applications. We must do this together. Let us make Turkey's scientific power more visible on a global scale. Come, let us together empower a Turkey that develops solutions to the world's problems, implements the solution it develops, and shares the result with all humanity. Let us bring this process together. I believe that the knowledge our universities produce, the human resources they train, and the technologies they develop will be one of the strongest and most lasting legacies, not only of COP31, but also of Turkey in the century of Turkey.